Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Memorial Day. Welcome to the Nurse Mark and the Green Nurse Daily Dose of AFA.
Where we bring you hope and inspiration for growth and healing so you can start your day off the AFA way. And in case you have forgotten, as we do every now and then, Mark
Yes,
wrote a book all about it.
I did.
AFA.
Right. And I could retitle it Absolutely Fucking Annoying because that's what technology was this morning. But even in the midst of technology being just crap, I know that you and I are absolutely fucking amazing. All of us,
Exactly.
every single one of us.
Exactly. Yeah. Here
Yeah.
it is. So here's the thing. So here's a morning message. When
Yeah.
you're feeling like everything is absolutely fucking annoying,
Yeah.
turn it around. Okay,
Yeah.
flip that coin over and be like, you know what? I'm having an absolutely fucking annoying moment right now, but guess what? I can flip that coin and we can go right over to the book. AFA, the
You
AFA
can
way
flip
by
it
Nurse
over.
Mark.
And you know what? If you can't flip it over, you're still absolutely fucking amazing. There's no
Exactly.
judgment. You don't have
No.
to be or do anything. You're just absolutely amazing the way you are.
Yeah.
So
And
here
it's
we
so
are.
nice to be reminded of that. Today is what? The very last day of May.
I know.
May 31st.
Yeah. Here we go.
There we
Kicking
go.
into summer. Well,
Kicking into summer.
here in New England, you wouldn't know it. Kicking
Yeah,
into
no.
summer. No, we're kicking on the heat. Holy good gosh.
Holy
Yeah.
schmoly is right? The heat's going, the sweatshirts are on. Well, actually, you know what? I'm manifesting good weather because I have my tube top on.
Right, and I'm
And a
not
little
wearing any underwear, so there you go. We're both in that mode of come on, sunshine.
Come on, sunshine.
Yeah.
We are ready. So rise and shine. It is Motivational Monday time here at the Green Nurse.
Yes.
And Mark is going to start the day off like he always does because he is filled with AFA love. And it is the daily love.
Let's go with the daily love. All
Let's
right.
do it.
Oh yeah. Well, since it's Memorial Day, of course, we're going to talk about something to memorialize. So let's talk
Yeah.
about today's comes from the daily word. It's called respect. I respect and honor the divinity within myself and others. Ready? Here we
Yeah.
go. As I was growing up, I was taught to respect those who were older because they likely had acquired great experience, knowledge, and wisdom. Yet it was not the years of life that commanded respect, but the life lived in those years. There are many who demonstrated tremendous courage as they took on great challenges. Their willingness, daring, and determination deserve respect. They went where others would not go and did what others would not do. I have reference for those who came before me. I respect and honor the divinity within those who, through their unique and selfless contributions, have made a better world. So happy Memorial Day.
Happy Memorial
You know, and,
Day.
and on Memorial Day, we recognize those who have given their
Serve.
lives in the military service for our country. And, you know, that deserves the highest honors and respect, right?
I
And
agree.
so being a former Marine myself very much resonates with me. And, so I give honor and respect to those people who have made that sacrifice. And less than
Died.
1% of the residents of the United States ever even enter the military service. So it's a very small, tiny amount of people who
Wait, can
actually
you
do
can you give me that percentage again? So less
less
than
than
one
1%
of all people.
of all people ever enter the military service in the United States. So it's
Okay,
the
so
one
that's
percenters.
huge. That is
Yeah.
really
And
mm,
so, Memorial Day, we recognize the sacrifice that these folks have made, and I honor and sacrifice. But here's my new paradigm, my new world. My new world is they never have to sacrifice their lives. Like I don't want my grandchildren and their children to live in a world where they have to sacrifice their lives. If you look back at all of the conflicts that these amazing people have given up their lives, none of them needed to be fought. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
So I honor and respect those who have been put in that situation and have given their lives willingly. But
Yeah.
I want to live in a world where we don't have that conflict, where we don't have
We don't have to make a
to have
choice to
war, that
enlist
they
in
don't
war.
have to lose their lives, that their families don't have to miss them, that
Yeah.
that we avoid conflict like that. And I believe we can get there. So,
Yeah.
you know,
So here's the other.
my positive energy goes out for that. I know yours does.
Yes,
And
it
so
does.
happy
And
Memorial Day, everybody.
yes, and respecting the divine light in all of
Yeah.
us, right? I like that. Respect divinity, right? And everyone's on their own journey.
Hmm.
Everyone has their own interpretation of what it means to be divine and living as a divine expression of creative love.
Hmm.
And it's beautiful, Mark. A life well lived is to be celebrated. A
Yes.
life of giving of service to others is to be
Hmm.
celebrated, and
Hmm.
respecting the divinity in all of us.
Right.
And
Right.
there it is. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So, note from the universe.
Okay, so this was really funny. So there is I forget, God, his name is Dooley. Bob or Bill, or I forget his name. His last name is
Uh,
Dooley, but he's got a really cool, he pops up every now and then on my timeline, and he talks about little messages from the universe. So, we all know. So today's note from the universe that came flying at me today, and I was
yeah.
wondering, are my buttons going to be pushed today? So the message was this, and it has to do with what you talk about all the time, Mark, self-love, right?
It's
So
totally
the message goes such as, those folks who push your buttons. Well, once you love your life and you love yourself so much, you no longer care about their behavior. They disappear. And that's called spiritual housekeeping. So the power of self love can do all of that and so much more, right? So even when our computers are pushing our buttons because we can't push them, right? Right. So
technology.
exactly. So just anything that pushes our buttons, right? We
Yes.
don't have to live in that button pushing environment, right? Because we can love
Totally.
ourselves and respect the divinity of what's going on
Mhm.
on everyone else. So I really like that one. And I got another message today too from the angels, the last day of May. This was a really good
Uh-huh.
one. And this has to do is, about time and pain, how pain
Mhm.
is a time deceiver, covering holes in our schedule that ache to be devoted toward our life's purpose. So,
Mm.
an interesting thing too about how being able to turn, I saw another message from another one of my favorite spiritual healers was turn your mess into a message.
I like that.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
So here it is I'm able to turn the pain that I've in, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual pain
Mhm.
into a message, into my purpose, into my passion, into the plan,
Yeah.
into the
Yeah.
reason why I'm showing up today is to
Yes.
bring education, hope, inspiration, growth, and healing around
Mhm.
plant medicine. So it's really,
Yeah.
really interesting how all of these little topics all kind of delve into what we're going to talk about today.
Yes. Motivational Monday.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And what motivates us as
Uh-huh.
cannabis nurses, we
Right.
love to talk about, the AFA principles, living in the now, about how
Mhm.
we're all awesome and amazing. But now we want to bring it into cannabis because we talk a lot about spiritual principles, and spirituality, we truly feel, is the essence of
Mhm.
cannabis care. So in
Mhm.
2018, Mark and I got so excited. The National Council State Boards of Nursing put out guidelines in the Journal of Nursing Regulations for medical cannabis. And so the NCSBN is the governing body that puts out the NCLEX exam that makes determination as to whether nurses are
It's a
licensed or
national
not.
exam for all
Yeah,
nurses. If you're gonna become a registered nurse, you have to sit for this examination, and if you don't pass, you're not a registered nurse.
that's it. That's it.
Everyone in the country.
Yeah. So they made out these guidelines, which is very, very, very important because, nursing can be very conservative, as is the traditional medical system. So in 2018, they identified 6 essential areas of knowledge
Mhm.
about cannabis for
Right.
all nurses, nursing students, and advanced practice nurses. So we've been covering these.
Mhm.
And the one that we like to focus on, we like to focus on all of them, but the one that we really like to delve into And it's because it's so important, is that the nurse shall approach the patient without judgment regarding their choice of treatment or preference in managing pain and other distressing symptoms.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. We're going to get into that. Laura, thanks for popping on. And
Good
you had an
morning.
awakening Saturday? Woohoo!
She had
Oh
an
yeah.
awakening?
Love it.
I
It's been a
missed,
good
wait a minute.
weekend for that. Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
Me
Oh,
too.
no.
Me too.
Oh.
Saturday was interesting. Yes. It was a day. It was a day for awakenings, apparently.
Apparently, there we
So
go. Well, we go.
yeah. So share, we presented it last year at
Yeah.
the ACNA conference. What was that about?
So the interesting thing is that, what we're doing is we're bringing the spirit of plant medicine to our
Mhm.
patients and educating them on all the various ways that it can help decrease suffering and improve quality of life. So as clinicians, if you think about it, we usually
Mhm.
start with disease and symptoms, right? The
Right.
biological part, the diagnoses, the symptoms, the medications. And
Mhm.
then hopefully we work our way to mental and emotional health. And
Right.
rarely do we ever get to the spiritual healing or address these issues.
Mhm.
So, what we've noticed as cannabis nurses and working with all the patients that we've worked in, what has cannabis brought people first? It's brought them hope. It brought them that
Yeah.
spiritual connection, that radiant compassion and
Right.
empathy,
When they
bringing a,
show up at at our place,
there's
Sherry,
no hope.
there's no hope
Yeah,
because most of the time, I don't want to say all the time, but most of the time,
most of the
they've
time,
tried every other
everything.
thing that they can
Yeah,
possibly try, and they are at their wits' end, and they have no hope. Like, the hope is
no.
gone. They're like, "What is left for me?" Like, I'm suffering, and I've tried everything that my doctors have told me to do, and none of it has really worked. And they
Yeah.
show up looking for hope.
Hope. Yes. So we
Yeah.
bring that hope, and cannabis brings that hope because cannabis has brought us hope as
Right.
healers.
Right.
Right. And from that hope, it brings what? That
Yeah.
feeling and that desire for something certain to
Mhm.
happen.
Mhm.
So with hope comes what? Inspiration, right? That mental, emotional connection that
Yeah.
allows us to be stimulated to do something different and to
Mhm.
be creative. Being in spirit is
Right.
being inspired.
Yeah.
Cannabis brings inspiration,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
What else, Mark?
Growth, baby. Growth in health, mind, body, and spirit. So it's transforming self-development, personal development, self-guided improvement, self-help. All of those things become available in our lives once we have that hope and we're inspired. Like, it's the
Yes,
next logical step. We
it is.
wanna grow.
You do. You want
Yeah.
to do it, grow, and then healing. So
Mhm.
we talk about hope, inspiration, growth, and healing. That's the new
Right.
high, right? So healing is the process of making or becoming sound or healthy again,
Mhm.
restore to sound health. And that's subjective for every patient. So we
Right.
talk about healing not necessarily being the absence of illness or disease, but doing the best you can with what you have right here, right now to live
Right.
that high quality of life.
That's right.
Boom.
Yeah.
So, spiritual healing, mental, emotional healing, physical healing. So, if we're starting with the spirit
Mhm.
first, right?
Mhm.
Just think about how that can truly shift how we
Yeah.
interact with patients and we're working plant medicine. So, just to review,
Mhm.
the nurse shall approach the patient without judgment regarding their preferred treatment, right? So, judgment is to make a decision or to form an opinion.
Mhm.
And if you think about it, our mind is a judging machine, good, bad, neutral. And then when you really step back and think about what judgment is, it stems from ego, right? It doesn't stem
Mhm.
from spirit. And when we're taking care of patients, there's no room for ego or judgment when caring for patients. And we've talked about this over and over and over
Mhm.
again that the essence of nursing is human caring.
And, it's not it sounds so simple, Sherry, to be able to approach a patient without judgment, but we're
It's not.
judging machines. It's what
We
we
are.
do automatically. I mean, we really don't have much control over that process in our heads. So I I feel like what you're saying is having an awareness of when that judgment comes up and
Yes.
suspending it for a moment and
Yes.
saying, okay, all right, I see I'm judging this patient. Now I got to step away from that judgment and just open the space and allow for them to actually make a choice.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And that's the thing too, is being a clinician and a nurse, A
Mhm.
clinician, a nurse, and a medical patient. I sit and pull myself back into when I first started exploring cannabis as medicine.
Mhm.
I was judging myself first and
Of
foremost.
course.
And then
Of
the
course you were.
judgment, of course, mirrored back to what I was thinking that they, all of
Mhm.
them, were thinking about me. The whole world is judging me. Where in
Yeah.
reality, I was judging myself and it was projected upon. I was looking
Right.
for evidence of everyone judging me for
Yeah.
my choice of using cannabis as
And
medicine.
and Melissa popped up. Assessing and judging are 2 different things, and she's
There you go.
absolutely right, because assessing is looking at what's so without
Yes,
applying meaning to it, right? These are the
exactly.
facts of what is happening right here, right now, and judging is applying all of this meaning that you've carried along with you to whatever is happening in the space. So it's that
That past.
disconnection and just assessing that we wanna
Yes.
do, right?
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
that's it too. So you think about too, so if you want to even delve deeper, we talk about judgment. Where is it coming from? It's coming from a past story,
Of
right?
course.
So that we can
It's
just
coming from nothing to do with the situation that's at
situation.
hand now. Like, it's
Exactly.
pulling everything that your brain is an amazing organ that stores every experience you've ever had, and so it puts all this stuff together into forming a judgment, and, hey, it has nothing to do with what's happening at hand.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So,
So
last
Mark,
week, we
yeah,
introduced Gene Watson's theory on human caring, and it incorporates 3 other theories. Watson's human caring theory is based on humanistic psychology, which calls for the person to look deeply within with the knowledge that self awareness is prerequisite for self growth.
there we go.
The second one of the 3 theories is Eastern philosophy, spiritual principles looking at the whole instead of the parts and focus on similarities. And the last of that triad is transpersonal psychology. It's spiritual psychology, whole person psychology, connecting with spirit and transcending the self and the ego.
There you
So,
go.
Sherry, what does Watson say about human caring theory and transpersonal nursing?
Well, she's just fascinating. She describes a transpersonal nurse as one who has the ability to center consciousness
Hmm.
and intentionality. So being intentive, being purposeful on caring, healing, and wholeness rather than on disease, illness, and pathology.
Hmm.
So it focuses on helping patients achieve a more complete sense of harmony within the mind, the body, and the spirit using these caring interactions. So think about it. At its core,
Hmm.
nursing is defined as caring for the human health experience, right? We are caring for not just the person, but also for their health experience, all of it, mind, body, and spirit. So the Carides processes that was created by Watson's theory on human caring gives nurses a common language and helps to remind us of our true focus, which is caring for all of humanity. So
Hmm.
literally, according to
Hmm.
Watson's, nurses who understand and abide by these principles will provide more meaningful care and success in forming relationships with patients, families, visitors, and colleagues, because they'll be able to more effectively and compassionately care for all of human life. So how cool is that, Mark? A
So cool.
whole language, a whole way, a whole
Yes.
different way of incorporating spirituality
Hmm.
into traditional medicine. So,
Yeah.
Mark, we're going to go through all of these different Caritas processes because
Yep.
they can all apply to how we interact with patients.
Yeah.
So, and we're going to give examples. So, Mark, what is the first Caritas process?
So, Sherry, this is the beautiful one. What a
Mhm.
lovely place to start.
I know.
It's practice loving kindness and compassion towards self and others when working with patients.
Yeah,
And and you know what? It does say self first,
it does.
and very intentionally does that because you have to start with yourself. You have to have loving kindness and compassion for yourself.
Yeah.
And from that, you can transmit that to others. So, how do we do that? Number one, we connect to spirit and educate through loving presence. Like we're there with the patient.
Right.
Provide the same loving care to ourselves just as we do our patients. I mean, how many times have we been working with patients and we're instructing and educating them on things they should be doing, and we suddenly realize,
We're not
oh
doing it.
shit, I'm
Mhm.
not doing any of these
Oh,
things.
yeah.
Like, I'm
Right.
reminded that I should be doing these as well. And so we really do need to provide that same loving care to ourselves. Third, be the change, be the power of example, which goes back to having that loving care for ourselves
Yeah.
as to how we nourish our
The
endocannabinoid
cannabinoid
system.
system.
And the last thing, demonstrate this love not only to the patients we care for, but also the professionals and our colleagues that we work with. And that is
Yeah.
sometimes difficult.
Really hard. Exactly. Because I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
I'll just give you an example. Now, because I'm a patient and a nurse, a clinician, right? When I go in and I'm working with even with my colleagues that I used to work with in the traditional system, and I ask them a question about the endocannabinoid system and they don't know, guess what? I get frustrated. I get upset.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
should
yeah.
know. You should know this. Right?
Mhm.
And then I become the judging machine. And then I got to remember, wait a minute. The endocannabinoid system was not discovered until 1988. So maybe I should give them a little slack because I didn't learn about it. But then here we are, right? So it's being, I didn't understand it. And then when I finally went down that rabbit hole and understand the endocannabinoid system, how cannabinoid therapeutics works, how we have this most important system in our body, I got embarrassed. I was embarrassed that I didn't know what I didn't know and that I didn't know it.
Yeah.
Right. So
Oh, yeah.
bringing it back to self-love,
Yeah.
self-care, self-compassion, forgiving what I didn't know and that I didn't know it.
Right.
I'm able to have that compassion for others. So I really literally sit and I look at some of these health professionals that don't understand the endocannabinoid system,
Mhm.
that don't understand cannabis, and I literally feel sorry for them,
Well,
because they're
they're
missing a huge
yeah.
opportunity, not only for themselves, but for all the patients that they work with.
So when we understand that, and you're right, Sherry, sometimes it's not easy to do. You're like, "Oh my god, can't you just understand that this is one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful receptor system in your body and that you need to know this?
Yeah,
Don't you know?"
don't you
When you
know?
have that compassion and loving kindness, you understand, as you said so eloquently, they just don't know.
And they don't know that they don't know it. So what I do
Know
too
that
is
they don't know, right? So,
so
a
I make
little
fun of
loving
myself,
kindness.
a little loving kindness. And so how I can provide that loving kindness is by actually turning it back,
Mhm,
right? So when I'm working
mhm.
with a health professional, I can turn it back on myself and make fun of myself.
Right,
Be like, I was just like that a few
right.
years ago until I was sick, suffering, and dying, and
Yeah,
nothing worked.
right.
So I can turn that story into something that
Yeah,
may provide them with that hope and inspiration so that they can grow and learn and,
right,
and provide a new way,
right.
right? So that's just
Yeah.
my own example, is to turn it
Alice
on myself. Go
yeah.
ahead.
Alice is talking about willful ignorance versus woeful ignorance, and,
Ooh,
I can agree a little bit, but it's more than that. You really have to consider cognitive dissonance. You really have
yes.
to understand that psychological phenomenon that all human beings live with, and that
Hmm.
is that if you have a firmly held belief and you are presented with evidence to the contrary, you will still hold that firmly held belief no matter what is presented to you.
Yes.
And so it's a
True.
matter of slowly chipping away because, when we have these beliefs, what are they? They're just agreements between you and other people because
Well,
you don't
that's the
get all of
thing.
this information just innately into your head. It's given to you by outside sources and you
Yes.
agree. Okay, I agree with that. It sounds like something from everything that everybody's ever said to me. It sounds like I should believe this.
And
So,
but
yeah,
beliefs aren't truth. That's the other thing, right? A
no.
belief is not
Opinion,
a
beliefs,
truth.
they're not true. They're only true if you say they are, right? So, yeah, that's when they become true. And guess what? It's true for you,
It's true
but
for
not
you.
for everybody else.
That's
So,
it. All truth is
everybody
truth.
tries to deal in absolute truths, right?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just all illusion. At the
Yeah,
end of the day, we are here, Sherry, you and I, and
yeah.
everybody here, we're here to just continually give that loving kindness and compassion and
Compassion,
education.
educate.
And at some point, we'll reach that tipping point where that person who was so dead set against cannabis as a medicine suddenly has an epiphany and a moment of awareness that, oh my gosh, it is medicine.
Yes.
And
And
now
here,
they can go down that path of learning more about it. And that's just how it's going to work out.
Yeah, and I want to give Alice, good point. And I want to give you an example. I think this example will kind of clarify a little bit about
Hmm.
the cognitive dissonance. So
Yeah.
and it's a story with my mother. When I first started using cannabis, my mother was vehemently opposed,
Hmm.
wrote me letters, wrote me out of her will, and blocked me on Facebook,
Yeah.
regardless of the evidence that I provided to her, which was a ton, and regardless of her seeing me heal. Her seeing me going from sick, suffering, debilitated, in bed, suicidal,
Yeah.
on 18 medications, slowly but surely coming off of them and feeling better, she
Hmm.
still didn't believe. She was so dead against it. And I truly, truly 100% believe it
That
had to
was
do with
her
the
firmly
cognitive
held
dissonance.
belief.
It's illegal. God didn't approve of it. Like, she was going on and on and on. It's illegal. It's a sin. It's this, it's that. And I have evidence.
That's what she was
Docu-
presented with her whole life, Sherry. Her whole life. That's the message that she was given.
right. So guess what? Guess
Yeah.
what shifted it? Okay. It wasn't a truth for her. It wasn't the statistics. It wasn't me. It wasn't the research. It was another story that she saw and heard. She saw a nun that we had been taking care of who was
Yeah.
on 400 mics of fentanyl,
Yeah.
who we'd been working with, who came off of these opioids, and
Hmm.
how his quality of life has completely 100% improved.
Yeah.
So she heard a story, right, which could have been made up, mind you. Right? That's what it is. It was a story. I mean, it's a true story, but still, you think about it,
Yeah.
this was something that she was presented with. It was a light switch that went off that completely
Yeah.
100% totally changed her way of interacting
Right.
with cannabis.
And Sherry, so you're right. It wasn't the statistics. It
No,
wasn't the
the
research. It
research, no,
wasn't all of this
wasn't
evidence,
me.
right? So for her, it was someone in a role, a sister,
Yeah,
that
sister,
she trusted her whole
whole
life.
life.
She trusted as being part of her religious faith. She
Yeah,
trusted that they always were honest and truthful, and and that's where truth came from. And so
right.
in that moment, Sister Suzanne shared
Sister
an
Suzanne,
experience,
she
and it
did.
became okay. It was that cognitive dissonance got shifted, right?
So I got
And
to tell
now
you,
and now, right, your mom's
she's on
open
the
to
bus.
statistics, research, evidence, all of the things.
But this is the funny part too, because this is what got my mom. So Sister Suzanne, I sent her this clip, and this is what got it. I asked Sister, I said, Sister, what would Jesus say about all this cannabis? And she goes, Jesus would say, what the frig did it take you so long to use this God-given plant that I created for you? Another interview that she did, she also said that Jesus would expect us to use this plant, and it's a sin if you don't. So
Yeah.
my mom hears sin if you don't use the plant. So just think about how that
Right.
completely shifted, right? So she's
See?
hearing
That's yeah.
a
And
good
that
story.
and you so here's the thing. You never know when you're gonna be Sister Suzanne for somebody else.
Exactly.
There may be somebody else in your world, in your life, that needs to hear what you have to say because for some reason you represent truth for them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Good one.
Yeah.
Good one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So
So Melissa mentioned, we really should have the endocannabinoid system in the A&P books. Yeah. And you know
of
what?
course.
It will get there. But this
My
stuff
umbrella.
takes it's so long to change curriculum. It's not like it just takes a while to get into the curriculum, whether it's medical school or nursing school or in an A&P book. Like, hey, listen,
I got to
Carrie
tell you.
Clark, and you guys published this awesome textbook.
And
So
guess what?
yeah,
This
yeah,
umbrella demonstrating the endocannabinoid system is in the first cannabis nursing textbook.
yeah,
How cool is that? I want to see them in all textbooks, right? Because it's a
yes,
really good way of teaching and educating on the endocannabinoid
yeah,
system.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's good news. Good
yeah.
stuff.
And and
Mhm.
and I just want to point out, Deanna, man, ruptured brain aneurysm survivor. That you are in rarefied air. You are one of very few people who
People that
actually
live.
survived that. So, cannabis saved your life, gap the bridge, steady
Yeah.
hands of the neuro doctors. Yep, cannabis and the higher power. Yeah. Glad
Yeah.
you're here
Glad
sharing
you
your
are here.
story.
Yes. So let
Yeah.
me just thank you everyone for coming through here. Let's see,
Yes. Good to see
Laura,
you this Memorial
Beth,
Day
Alice.
morning, Monday, May 31st, wherever
Yes.
you are.
Yes, I can't see the little comments. I'm going to go in and look afterwards. But yeah, so Memorial Day, May 31st,
Yeah.
Monday, Motivational Monday, right?
Yeah.
We're all going to have an AFA day. And
Yes,
the
we
day isn't
are.
even over with the Green Nurses. We got something going on tonight, Mark. What do we got going on?
Ooh, oh my gosh. Yes, we have our Mastermind Monday. So we have
Yep.
our every other week mastermind meeting, and they're so much fun. And there's
Yeah,
so
they
much
are so much
sharing.
fun.
Oh, there's so much sharing that
Yeah.
goes on. And that's the power of mastermind, is that we get to talk about specific case studies, and we get to talk about experiences in the field as you take this education and knowledge and actually apply it in
Yeah.
working with other people and coaching them on how to use cannabis as a medicine.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's great.
powerful.
Good stuff. Really
Yeah.
good stuff.
And
Yeah.
Wednesday. So,
Wednesday. Oh God,
yeah.
Wednesday. This is going to be really exciting.
Uh-huh.
Vanessa Cruz.
Yeah.
She's a cannabis nurse. She's also a psychedelic nurse, and she
Mhm.
does end of life work. And so she actually took your wife and I on a journey, and we're going to be offering these soon, on a cannabis journey. So it was really interesting. It was a 3-hour guided cannabis journey with headset, music, mindfold, and her leading. So it was really cool. So we're going to talk to her. She's a nurse in the space. We're going to share her story and some of
Yeah.
the amazing things that she's definitely doing in the cannabis space. And we're going to be offering
Fun.
some of those things, which is going to be great. So
Yeah.
that's Wednesday.
Yep. Friday, of
And
course,
then
Frequency Friday. We got our 9 a.m.
the
Gotta
vibe.
love that.
And then what's the big thing going on, Mark?
June 12th, baby.
Oh, I put 13th.
Yeah. Listen, June 12th, we're having an event down on the farm, and I'm talking, it's a
An event.
magical farm. Like
The
this
magical
is
farm.
this
Yes.
is an amazing place. Osprey Point Farm and headquarters of the Green Nurse. We are having a live event, live people. We're getting together. Yes, face to face. We're going to do yoga. We're going to do breath work. We'll do a little meditation. We'll do some dancing. Well, listen, we are going to have an amazing time. Cannabis education. We'll have
Yes.
people there who just,
Well, what I love
can't
too is we
wait.
have sponsors. We've got people that are donating products for experiential learning.
Oh,
So we're going to
yeah.
have a consumption table with samples, and we'll be educating on the different products that are
Yep.
available. There's going to be raffles, which is great.
Yep.
Plus all the farm animals, right? Cows, baby cows that were born.
Listen, they're
We
all
got.
waiting for you all to come down.
What about the
They're
turkeys?
friendly. They love people. They love to just hang out and have fun.
Yeah.
Melissa, we're in Massachusetts.
Yes. And
So the
Melissa,
farm's
if
about
you
25 miles north of Newport, Rhode Island, about an hour south of Boston. Yeah.
Yes. And
Yep.
it's right. If you look in the comments below, there is a link right to the event and you can purchase your tickets. We actually have some people that are coming from out of state, which is going to be really fun
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, we
You
do.
know?
We have some out of
But
staters coming into Massachusetts.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
it's
going to be good.
it's it's the first one that
Activate.
we're doing, and we had this plan for 2020. Like, you
Yeah.
know what happened.
You know what
And now
happened.
here we are. We get to do it. Oh my gosh. Oh,
I know. It's going to be great, right? We're
yeah.
bringing hope and inspiration for growth and healing.
Yep.
Activate your endocannabinoid system with the Green
Yes.
Nurses
Yes.
and have a safe experience and come live, come have a day, spend a day on
Yeah.
the farm,
Yeah.
which will be
Come on
wonderful.
down. So noon to 4:20 on the 12th of June.
Yep.
Gonna be fabulous.
Fabulous.
And if you can't make it in person, make it energetically. Come on
Okay.
down. We'll connect with you.
We'll
We'll
connect
reach
with you.
out.
Well, we'll be going live throughout the event too,
Oh,
so
yeah. Oh,
which will
yeah.
be great. Yep,
Yep.
definitely be going live so you
All
can
right. So,
see all the fun that we're having.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a great time. So,
Yep.
hey, listen, I'm already having an AFA day because
I'm
I get
having
to
an
see all
AFA
of you
day.
guys. Love you all.
Love you
Glad
all.
that you're able to drop in on this Memorial Day morning. And, you know, Sherry, what's it all about?
Oh, Mark, what it's all about. It's about living your best life, helping others do the same, and 100% decreasing stigma around what it means to feel good. Thank you,
Excellent.
everyone, for joining
All
us.
right. See you, everybody.